are you saying?
I saw her. I saw her pour something inside the rice.
She's lying!
I swear on my life, she poured something from a small nylon.
Mommy, is it true?
What is going on here?
I'll get the nylon. It smells strange.
Chemical.
Listen carefully, because this is not just a story. This is my life. My own sister tried to end me, slowly, quietly, without anyone knowing. Her jealousy turned into hatred, and her hatred almost killed me. But what she didn't know was this: karma was already watching. Please take a second to like and subscribe to this channel, as it helps us to produce more engaging and chilling stories like this. Now let's start. My name is Amanda, and this is how everything almost destroyed me. Growing up, my sister and I shared a bond. At least, that's what I believed. We slept on the same bed, whispered secrets under the blanket at night, shared clothes without asking, ate from the same plate when food was small. She was my big sister. I loved her. When thunder struck at night, I ran to her side. When I had nightmares, she held my hand. But somewhere along the way, something changed. I don't know when it started. Maybe it was when people began to compare us. Amanda is so calm. Amanda is so beautiful. Amanda is very intelligent. Every compliment they gave me felt like a slap to her. At first, it was small things. She would mistakenly tear my dress for church. She would hide my sandals when I was late for school. One evening, as I stood in front of the mirror, braiding my hair, she walked in. "You think you are fine, Abi?" she asked, folding her arms. I laughed. "What kind of question is that?" She moved closer, too close. "Just don't forget we came from the same mother." I didn't understand what she meant, but her eyes, they were different that day, cold. As we grew older, the jealousy became obvious. If I passed an exam, she stopped talking to me. If a neighbor praised me, she would insult me later. "You like attention too much. You are pretending to be humble." I tried to ignore it. "She's just stressed," I would tell myself. "She'll change." But she didn't change. She grew worse. Then I met Tunde. He was gentle, soft-spoken, the kind of man who listens more than he talks. The first day he walked me home, my sister was sitting outside. She looked him up and down like he was dirt. "So this is the one?" she asked. I smiled shyly. "Yes." Tunde greeted her politely. "Good evening, sis." She didn't answer. Later that night, she entered my room without knocking. "You are moving fast," she said. "It's just introduction," I replied. "Relax." She laughed, but it wasn't a normal laugh. "Men don't choose girls like you for marriage. They play with them." Her words cut deep, but I refused to let her ruin my happiness. The day I decided to bring Tunde home officially to meet our mom, I was excited. I woke up early. I cooked jollof rice, fried chicken, made salad, even baked a small cake. Our mom was smiling all day. "Finally," she said, "my daughter is growing." My sister was quiet, too quiet. When I entered the kitchen to get more plates, I noticed she was already there, standing near the pot of rice. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Nothing," she said quickly. Her hand moved away from the pot. I felt something strange in my chest, but I ignored it. Big mistake. We all sat down at the table. Tunde held my hand under the table. I was never spot happy. Then our maid, Chioma, suddenly rushed into the dining room.
Don't eat that.
"Madam, don't eat that food," she screamed.
What are you saying?
Everything froze. My mother dropped her spoon. "What are you saying?" she asked. Chioma was shaking. I saw her pour something inside the rice." The room went silent. Slowly, all eyes turned to my sister. She stood up immediately. "She's lying," she shouted. But Chioma was crying. I swear on my life, she poured something from a small nylon. My heart started pounding so loudly I could hear it. "Mommy, Mommy," I whispered, staring at my sister. My mother looked at her. "Is it true?" My sister's face changed. That same cold look I saw years ago. "You think anybody wants to poison her?" she said calmly. "She's not that important." I couldn't breathe. Tunde stood up. "What is going on here?" Chioma ran to the kitchen and brought the nylon. It smelled strange, chemical. My hands began to shake. "Why?" I whispered, staring at my sister. She looked straight at me and smiled. That smile will haunt me forever, because in that moment I realized something terrifying. She wasn't joking. She wasn't angry. She was ready to watch me die. And that was the day I understood. My sister didn't just hate me, she wanted me gone. That night, I packed my things. My mother cried. Please don't go, she begged. But I couldn't stay in a house where my own blood wanted to poison me. As I stepped out with my bag, my sister stood at the door. She leaned close to my ear and whispered, "You think this is over?" I felt ice run down my spine because I knew it was just beginning. And I had no idea how far she was willing to go. When I left that house, I thought I had escaped danger. I was wrong. You see, some people don't need to live with you to destroy you. They just need your name. And my sister still had mine. I moved in with Tunde's family for a while. They were kind to me. His mother treated me like her own daughter. But inside me, something had changed. I was no longer that soft girl who believed blood meant protection. I was careful, too careful. At night, I would wake up sweating. I would see her face in my dreams. That smile, that cold, wicked smile. "Amanda," Tunde would whisper, shaking me. "You are dreaming again." I would nod. I saw her. "Your sister?" "Yes." He would hold me tight. "You are safe here." But was I? A few weeks later, rumors started spreading. Someone told Tunde's aunt that I was sleeping around, that I had a bad character, that it was the one who tried to poison my sister and she only defended herself. When I heard it, my hands went cold. I couldn't breathe. "Who told you this?" I asked. The aunt hesitated. "She said she's your sister." She was crying. I felt something break inside my chest. Even after almost killing me, she was playing victim. Tunde was angry. "I will go and confront her." "No," I said quickly. "That's what she wants." Because I was beginning to understand something about her. She fed on chaos. She wanted noise. She wanted drama. She wanted my name stained. Despite everything, Tunde stood by me. Months later, he proposed. It wasn't fancy, no big crowd, just him kneeling in his small room holding a simple ring. "Amanda," he said softly, "I know your life hasn't been easy, but I want to build something new with you. Will you marry me?" I cried, "Yes." For the first time in a long time, I felt peace. But peace never stays long when someone is determined to break it. When we fixed our wedding date, I sent an invitation to our family house. Even after everything, I still hoped. Maybe, just maybe, she would change. The wedding day came. Music was playing. Friends were dancing. I kept looking at the entrance. Maybe she would show up late. Maybe she would surprise me. But she never came. Instead, my phone buzzed. A message from her. "You are pretending to be happy. Let's see how long it lasts." That was all. No congratulations, no apology, just poison again. I deleted the message, but I could not delete the fear it planted in me. Marriage was not perfect, but it was peaceful. I became pregnant a year later. When I held my baby for the first time, I cried harder than I ever had in my life. Because now it wasn't just about me anymore. Now I had someone to protect. And suddenly my sister's shadow felt closer. Then tragedy struck. Our parents passed away within months of each other. It was sudden, painful. The funeral brought me back to that house, the house where everything started. When I entered, memories rushed back like cold wind. My sister stood in the living room. We hadn't spoken properly in years. She looked thinner, harder. "Sorry for your loss," she said flatly. "Our loss," I replied. She didn't answer. After the burial, I returned to my husband's house. I thought we would sit as a family later and discuss the property. I was wrong again. 2 months later, I got a call. "Amanda," my uncle said carefully, "did your sister tell you?" "Tell me what?" I asked. "She sold the house." I froze. "What?" "She sold it last week, without telling me, without consulting me, without even pretending I mattered." I felt like someone had erased my childhood with one signature. I called her immediately. She picked up. "How could you?" I asked, my voice shaking. She laughed softly. "You left, remember? You said you didn't want anything from this house." "I never said that." "You walked away. You tried to kill me." Silence. Then she said something that chilled my blood. "You should have died that day." The line went dead. I stood there shaking, my baby crying in my arms. In that moment, I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just jealousy anymore. This was hatred. Deep, rotten hatred. And I had no idea what she was planning next. But life has a strange way of turning tables. Because not long after that call, I received another one. And this time, her voice was different. Shaking. Broken. "Amanda, I need your help." And I didn't know whether to hang up or listen. "I made a mistake." I almost laughed. "A mistake?" My voice hardened. You tried to poison me. You destroyed my name. You sold our parents' house. Which mistake are we talking about? She was breathing heavily. My husband is not who I thought he was. I said nothing. He beats me, Amanda. The words landed heavily between us. He locks me inside. He controls my phone. He says I'm useless. For a second, I remembered all the times she had said those same words to me. Useless, not important, should have died. Life has a strange way of returning words to the sender. She told me everything. How she met him shortly after my wedding, how she rushed into marriage because she wanted to prove she was better, how he slowly changed. At first, it was small insults. You are too jealous, you are too proud. Then it became shouting, then pushing, then slaps. One night, she said he held her neck against the wall. I couldn't breathe, she whispered. I thought I was going to die. My body went cold because I knew that fear. I had seen that same darkness in her eyes once. Now she was seeing it in someone else's. Why are you calling me? I finally asked. I have nobody, she said. Her friends had left. Her parents were gone. The house was sold. The man she married had isolated her from everyone. And suddenly, she remembered she had a sister, the same sister she once wanted gone. I was torn. Tunde watched my face carefully. What did she say after I hung up?
She needs help.
She needs help.
I don't know what to do.
I sat down slowly.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. He sighed. After everything? Yes. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that changed me. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means deciding who you want to be. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing my mother's voice in my head. No matter what happens, don't let your heart become dark. I didn't want to be like her. I didn't want bitterness to eat me alive the way it had eaten my sister. But I was afraid. What if she was lying again? What if this was another trap? The next day, she called again. This time, she sounded worse. He says if I ever leave him, he will destroy me. Where are you now? I asked. At home. He traveled this morning. Pack your things, I said. She went quiet. Amanda, are you serious? Yes. There was a long silence. Then she started crying again. I don't deserve you. No, she didn't. But I wasn't doing it because she deserved it. I was doing it because I deserved peace. When she arrived at my house that evening, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked smaller. Her eyes were tired. There was a faint bruise near her neck. For a second, I saw not the woman who tried to poison me, but the little girl who used to hold my hand during thunderstorms. We stood facing each other, no words. Finally, she spoke. I'm sorry. Simple, no drama, no excuses. She continued. I was jealous. I don't even know why. Every time someone praised you, I felt like I was disappearing. Her voice broke. I hated myself, so I hated you. Tears rolled down my face. I almost killed you, she whispered. Yes, I said softly. And I would never forgive myself for that. I looked at her for a long time. Then I said the hardest words of my life. I forgive you. She collapsed into tears, and something inside me loosened. The process wasn't magical. Healing didn't happen overnight. There were awkward silences, moments of tension, days when old memories resurfaced. But slowly, we started talking, really talking. She admitted she had sold the house out of anger. She said, I wanted to erase everything. I thought if I removed the house, I could remove the comparison. But you can't sell memory, you can't sell guilt, and you can't sell blood. A year passed. She officially ended her marriage, started therapy, got a small job. She was not the same person. Life had humbled her in ways I never could. One evening, we sat outside watching my child play. She turned to me. You know, I used to think you stole my light. I smiled faintly. And now? She looked at my child running in the yard. I realized we both had our own light. I was just too blind to see mine. For the first time in many years, I felt hope. Not just for her, but for us. Forgiveness wasn't easy. It was not weakness, it was strength. It was choosing not to let poison stay inside me. Because if I had held on to bitterness, I would have become just like her, and I refused. Looking back now, I understand something powerful. Sometimes people hurt you because they are drowning inside. Sometimes jealousy is not small, it is not harmless. Left unchecked, it grows teeth, it whispers lies, it turns love into competition, and competition into hatred. My sister's jealous nature almost destroyed me, and it almost destroyed her too. But in the end, hatred didn't win, forgiveness did. Time passed, not fast, not slow, just steady. My sister was rebuilding her life piece by piece. Therapy helped her. Distance from that abusive marriage helped her. Even laughter slowly returned to her voice. But something still sat between us, something unfinished. We had talked about everything. Her jealousy, her marriage, selling the house, everything. Except that day, the kitchen, the poison. One night, rain was falling heavily, the kind of rain that brings back memories. My child was asleep. Tunde had traveled for work. It was just the two of us in my living room. The lights flickered. She was staring at the floor. "Amanda," she said quietly. "Yes?" "There's something I never told you." My heart tightened. I knew immediately what she meant. She didn't look at me. That day in the kitchen, it wasn't the first time. The room felt colder. "What do you mean?" I asked slowly. She swallowed. "I had thought about it before." "You planned it?" "I fought it," she said quickly. "For months, every time you smiled, every time people praised you, something dark would grow inside me." Her hands were shaking. "I used to imagine what life would be like if you were not there." Silence filled the room. The rain hit harder against the windows. "I even bought that chemical weeks before," she whispered. I felt like the ground beneath me disappeared. "You bought it weeks before?" She nodded. "I kept it hidden. I didn't know if I would use it. But that day, when I saw Tunde holding your hand, when I saw how happy you were," she closed her eyes. I snapped. I couldn't breathe properly. "You are ready to watch me die." Tears streamed down her face. Yes. The honesty hurt more than the act itself, because now there were no excuses, no mistake, no accident. It was intention, pure and dark. "Do you know what scares me?" I asked quietly. She shook her head. "That I didn't see it coming." I trusted her. That's what haunted me. Not just that she tried to poison me, but that she could look me in the eye every day and hide that much hatred. "I was sick," she whispered. "Not physically, inside. I compared us every day. I measured my worth against yours, and every time I felt smaller, I blamed you." She wiped her face. "But when I married that man, and he began to break me down the same way I used to break you, I understood something." She looked up at me. "I became the very monster I was afraid of." Those words stayed with me. There was something else. "One more thing," she said. My stomach tightened again. "That day, after Chioma exposed me, when I whispered to you at the door, 'You think this is over?' I finished for her." She nodded. "I wanted you to live in fear." I felt chills all over my body. "So all those silent calls?" "Yes. I wanted you unsettled. I wanted you looking over your shoulder." My blood ran cold. "So even after everything, even after therapy, the past still had teeth." For a moment, I stood up and walked away. I went to my bedroom, closed the door, and cried. Not because I hated her, but because I realized how close I had come to dying, how close my child had come to never knowing me, how thin the line was between life and tragedy. When I returned to the living room, she was kneeling. "I don't expect you to trust me fully," she said. "I don't even trust who I used to be." That sentence was honest, painfully honest. Forgiveness does not erase memory. It does not make scars disappear. It simply means you choose not to keep bleeding. That night, I forgave her again. Not because the past became lighter, but because carrying it alone was too heavy. Today, years have passed. She has changed, truly changed. She volunteers at a women's support center now, helps women leave abusive marriages, speaks about jealousy, insecurity, mental health.
Sometimes when I watch her talk, I see strength. Not the loud, proud strength she once pretended to have, but quiet strength, earned strength. But I will be honest with you, some nights I still lock my doors twice. Some nights, when the phone rings from an unknown number, my heart still skips. Trust rebuilds slowly, like a house after fire damage. You can repaint the walls, but you never forget the smoke. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. Jealousy is not small. It is not harmless. Left unchecked, it grows teeth. It whispers lies. It turns love into competition, and competition into hatred. My sister's jealous nature almost destroyed me, and it almost destroyed her too. But in the end, forgiveness saved us both. Not instantly, not magically, but slowly, painfully, powerfully. I had learned that sometimes people change, and sometimes reconciliation, though hard,